Hello, everyone. Welcome to Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk. This is your girl, Tamara Abraham, founder of Abraham Medical Coding Coach. So, guys, it's been a minute since I actually recorded or hosted a Code Rhetoric episode. I have been recording, I will say that. So for those of you who have been following me or who are subscribed to the channel, I've been doing a lot of recording on my other podcast show, which is entitled Mental Health and Motivational Mondays. And I really got hot and heavy into that one given the pandemic. And the reason for that, I just felt that, again, given the pandemic, that more people aside from coders needed some mental health awareness as well as some motivation. And so on that episode, or on that show, I've had some featured guests, and that's for my couch conversations, where I had a mental health therapist, licensed counselor, and also an author of a very motivating book called Hella Hopeful, just to kind of speak with my listeners about, things, strategies that they could use to stay motivated or to have clarity during this pandemic. And so like I said, it was something that's dear to me. And so I've been kind of focusing my podcasting energy into that show, but I do want to come back and really just, get into coding, because this is what it's all about. Again, Abraham Medical Coding Coach, Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk. We're going to talk about coding. But I want to do a little bit more than just talk about CPT codes, ICD-10, HCPCS modifiers, and things of that nature. I do have videos out there that speaks more so on the coding guidelines. But I want to talk about some other stuff as it relates to coding. This maybe some of these things that are overlooked, or maybe we touched on it a little bit, but we're not really talking about it. So my hot topic for coding, or this particular episode, is time management skills. We need to develop, or we need to improve our time management skills. And I guess I'll be the first to admit that my time management skills have kind of gone haywire since the pandemic. We've been all over the place. And I'm also going to go on record and say that coders are essential workers. We're not frontline essential workers, but we are essential workers. So there may be those who may have lost a job, but for the rest of us, the work just increased. And so our time management skills have gone awry. So I decided to sit down. I did find some time to sit down and write a blog, which I also haven't done in a minute. And it's entitled Playing Catch Up with Time. And so I was, doing some other projects, and I stumbled across a book from college. So one of my business classes, and this book is entitled Time Management, Increase Your Personal Productivity and Effectiveness. And it was written by the Harvard Business Essentials. So I was excited. I was like, okay, well, I flipped through the book just to kind of get an idea, hoping that they can give me some improved strategies or ways to improve my time management skills. And then I can share that information with you. So one of the things, or several things, that I guess I can kind of get into it. So again, those of you who are following me, or those of you who know me personally, I am also part of a leadership team with a healthcare system, a coding leadership team, that is, with a large healthcare system. So again, during the pandemic, things kind of maximized in regards to like the meetings, the Zoom meetings, the email overload, as well as the access to other tools that ensure that we're keeping that continuous line of communication open. And I will tell you that just those things, again, the meetings, the emails, I would say Jabber links, whatever instant messenger that your company used, it has been an overload. And it is a task in itself just to get through those things. So I was like, okay, this was getting out of control for me. By the time I'm I've gone through attended the meetings, checked emails, trying to responded to instant messaging. I'm whipped. And mind you, there are other functions involved in my role. So it's like, okay, how can I get through this? How can I be present for my employees, my colleagues, but at the same time, how can I shut them down or block some time to where I can focus on the other work that needs to be done? So again, like I said, I flipped through the book and I picked up some strategies, and then if you've read my book, Remote Coding of the Requirements, I also written a section on time management skills. So it was like, oh my God, I've written a book on this and I'm still slipping. But anyway, so I read the book, Time Management, and I was able to retrieve some tips and strategies that I want to share with you. So the first one is create a daily activity log chart. So for those of you who are actually coding and your own productivity, so it's important that you create a daily activity log. Because I'm sure, again, given everything that's going on, some of your productivity levels may have plummeted, or they may have increased. High numbers are just as bad as low numbers. So anyway, I just find it important that you create a daily activity log chart to ensure that you're touching your items on a daily basis and consistently meeting your productivity requirements. So for those of you who are not meeting them now, I would strongly encourage that you create this log. As a matter of fact, if you go on my website, that's at AbrahamMedicalCodingCoachLLC.com. There is a free coding resource tab. If you click on there, I kind of gave you a template or an outline of how you could use or create a daily activity log sheet for yourself. Feel free to tweak it to fit your agenda. So, I used to use a daily log in my previous roles, and it has done wonders for me. I know what my tasks are, I know what my main job duties are. And so as long as I'm doing those things, I'm touching those things, and I also allow room for special projects. And special projects are those things that we don't do on a daily basis, where, it may be an unexpected project that gets delegated to us. And so the daily activity log chart just helped me out a lot, and I'm able to sleep at night at the end of the day. Another one, this is for our coding leadership, delegate. Do not be afraid to delegate a task to someone on your team. Trust that the individual will get it done. Now, here's the thing. If you have issues or trouble delegating, some call it perfectionism, then you may want to reevaluate that issue. You are in management or you're in a supervisory role. You want to make sure you're able to delegate tasks to the appropriate individuals so that can free you up for bigger assignments, bigger projects, or bigger tasks that are assigned to you. Will that person be able to deliver it the way that you do? They probably won't. And that's where some training can come in. Teach them how it should be done. I wouldn't even say how you want it done, but how it should be done. And then for those who are coders, so there may be times where you may be thrust into a specialty that you may have done it and you haven't done it in a while, or you have no idea of how to do it. It is important that you speak up. Ask for assistance. Speak up and ask for assistance. And if your manager or supervisor or leader are a good manager, supervisor, leader, they're going to make sure that you get the training that you need, or they'll be able to find someone else to do the work. It's not a bad mark on you if you're honest and upfront with your skill set. so don't I guess that's a whole nother issue, but we'll talk about that later. But again, if you are unable to code a particular area of coding, do not be afraid to speak up or ask for assistance if it's too much. You want to make sure your manager and your supervisor are aware of your areas of strength and weakness, again, because it's a good thing, because this allows your manager and supervisor to see that to identify opportunities of training and career growth development for you and perhaps for your coworkers. So again, don't be afraid to speak up. And then for those who are in leadership role, don't be afraid to delegate. The next tip that I did read in the book is flexibility. A lot of companies allow flexibility in their schedules. I know that my current role and my current role or current team, we allow flexibility in the coders' work schedules. Some work 4/10, some work an earlier shift, some work a later shift, some work part-time, some work full-time. And we do understand that you have other things outside a life outside of coding. And although we do have men in coding, shout out to our men, but I will say the majority of the coders are females. Some of them are mothers. They have families, so we do understand that having that flexibility, it just provides that plus for the coder. They have the opportunity to be in the role of a mother or a parent or a caregiver, and then they also can focus on their job as a breadwinner, which is with coding. So if your company doesn't allow flexibility, I would encourage you to ask or inquire with your leadership to see if that's a possibility. It does bode well. The last thing that I want to share with you is offer time-saving perks. So again, if you're working on site, I would assume now that a lot of us are working remote, but employers have started implementing time-saving perks that provides an employee a chance to handle personal chores while they are at work. A good example of that is the concierge services. I again have worked in an employer in my past where they did have a concierge service, and they did everything. Like if you were married or say celebrating an anniversary, you didn't have time to go get an anniversary gift. You need to make reservations for dinner. If you had a pet, your pet need to go to the vet, or your pet need to be groomed. If you need to locate a child care service, they did not babysit for you, but they were able to identify and do the research for you for some good child care services based upon your requirements or what the things that you were looking for. Your dry cleaning, they picked up your dry cleaning, they dropped off your dry cleaning, they had your car service, all that. They did all the errands for you. So by the time you got off from work, those things were already taken care of. So it's a good service, and it's actually free. The one that, it was free. So again, these are little things that we can do to help alleviate or to help improve our time management. Again, with your coder, just making sure you create a daily activity log to ensure that you're touching all of your tasks on a daily basis. Again, if you're in a leadership role, to make sure you're delegating. If you're a coder and you're being tossed into an unknown coding specialty, be sure to speak up in advance and let them know so that we can get you the proper training that you need. Or if you are familiar with that particular area and you just need some assistance because the volume is too high, please, again, speak up so that we can get you some backup. Flexibility, just again, if you're an employer or if you're in a leadership role, consider offering flexibility to your coders. Just like you're stressed, they are stressed as well. We all need flexibility. Just do that. And I will also, now I'm going to jump back to the emails. Coders. It's not in my blog, but I want to talk with you about that. Coders, emails. When you're emailing someone in leadership, especially as it relates to your coding research, it is imperative, and I say it's imperative because it's an opportunity for you to learn how to research. Make sure that you've done your research on a coding question before you submit it to leadership. If you do the research and you find the answer, there will be no need to email your leadership. To simply send an email to leadership about a coding question, that is going to waste your time, and it's also going to waste the time of the leader, be it a supervisor or manager, or I would say even an educator. It is going to waste their time. One, it's going to allow or cause your productivity to decline because you have either deferred or you've paused your coding because you're waiting on a response. So it is important that you take that time to do your research and try to find the answer to your question beforehand. And then if you still can't, locate your answer, make sure you, when you're communicating with your leadership, make sure you are sharing with them the research that you've done, so that they know that, okay, if they have to research, then they already know that you've looked in a particular area, and we say, okay, well, we're not going to go there, but we can look at a different area. And then also they should have resources for you, like resources that particular healthcare system uses to, as a reputable resource for you. So I wanted to add that in there because that's very important. And that is a time waster as well. So again, create a daily activity log chart, delegate, have flexibility, and then offer time-saving perks such as a concierge service. And then the last one, I totally forget that. How could I forget this one? Eliminating distractions. So without saying, because many of you already know which distractions we're talking about, the ones that we need to remove, I'm guilty of it at times, is social media. We love the fact that we're able to connect with our friends and our family, and we want to socialize, we want to share, but there is a time that we must do this, and it's not during work hours. Again, these platforms should not be utilized during work hours. If we are not careful, productive time the time that we can be used to be productive in our work will be at a loss because we're using that time to scroll through our news feed. And you're not supposed to do that anyway because your employer is paying you for that time. So they don't pay you to scroll on social media. So again, just think of some other things that are causing distractions or that are causing your productivity level to decline or decrease, or just your overall time management skills. I mean, even outside of work, social media can be a distraction. And so if you take a break or social detox, and I do talk about that on my other podcast show, taking a social media detox has done wonders for me. It has done wonders for my mental as well. So again, I would encourage you to take a social media detox or take a break or just get off altogether so that you can focus and regain control of your time management. So that's all that I have, and I hope that these tips could provide some insight on increasing our time management. Again, the actual written blog is on my website at abrahammedicalcodingcoachllc.com, and the free coding daily log sheet template, is located under the free coding resources for your use. It's a free download. Again, you're welcome to recreate it or to fix it to where it can best suit your role. So I look forward to bringing more coding coach episodes So thank you all for being patient, and I look forward to talking to you in the future. And you all have a blessed week. Bye-bye.